Hi students, welcome to second year accountancy class. In our previous class we have discussed about depreciation fixed installment method. In this class we are going to discuss about diminishing balance method. I am not going to deal with the problems that already might have been completed by Mother sir. So here I am going to discuss about its formula, advantages and disadvantages. Theoretical part I am explaining. Okay, if any doubts regarding the calculation of depreciation etc. So whenever we have offline classes, then you can discuss with me. Diminishing balance method is also known as reducing installments method. Reducing installments method. Diminishing means what? Reducing. See, in previous class you might have learnt that in first year, if we have calculated the annual depreciation, it used to be remain same for the consequent years. But in case of diminishing balance method, the amount of depreciation, the amount of annual depreciation does not remain constant. It decreases every year. As the asset value decreases year by year, the amount of annual depreciation also decreases. Okay, that is the reason it is also called as written down value method. Written down value method. How? Try to understand. First year, annual depreciation is calculated based on the formula cost value into rate by 100. For example, say cost value of the asset is 1 lakh into rate is say 10%. So 10 by 100, that comes to 10,000. So this is the amount of depreciation in the very first year. Okay, first year annual depreciation is cost value into rate by 100. In fixed installment method, what we do? For the number of years we prepare the ledger, we take the same 10,000 for all the years. But in case of diminishing balance method, it is not like that. The depreciation in the consequent years is calculated on written down value, not on the cost value. Okay. So what is written down value? How do we get written down value? Written down value formula is cost value minus depreciation. What is the cost value here? 1 lakh. Cost value 1 lakh minus depreciation in the first year 10,000. So your written down value is 90,000. Now this 90,000 is written down value. So now your depreciation becomes like this. Second year onwards, 90,000 into 10 by 100. So it becomes 9,000. Third year, $90,000 minus 9,000, 81,000 into 10 by 100. Rate doesn't change, but the amount of depreciation will change. 8,100. Fourth year, 81,000 minus 8,100. So 71,900 into 10 by 100. 7,190. Clear, ma? So if you observe that annual depreciations, asset value. Asset value is 1 lakh, depreciation 10,000. Second year asset value 90,000, depreciation 9,000. Asset value 81,000, depreciation 8,100, asset value 71,900, 7,190. You can see here, as the asset value is decreasing, amount of depreciation is also decreasing. Okay, balance is diminishing, means नीचे उतरते जा रहा. As asset value is decreasing, amount of depreciation is also decreasing. Clear? Already you might have done various problems based on this. So calculation is very important. My CEC friends, those who do not know this calculation, even sometimes it is 5% is given in the examination, this cancellation you should get, because your job does not end with only one time calculation. Every year you have to calculate. Okay, it is not like first year calculated or someone has shown you the amount of depreciation, so every year you are copying the same. It doesn't like that. So every year you require this multiplication, division, all this numerical part you must know. Calculators are not allowed. In graduation it is allowed, but intermediate calculators are not allowed. So you should know the basic mathematics. Okay, how 0 zeros cancelled, multiplied. If 5% is given, sometimes 7.5% may be given, 8% may be given. For 6 months you have to calculate sometimes. If the date of purchase is middle of the year, sometimes you have to calculate for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months also. So you should know how to simplify. So simplification part, this part you should know. Clear? So I hope by this example you might have understood about the formula. Under diminishing balance method, the same is also called as reducing installments method, also called as written down value method. In first year, the annual depreciation. In the previous class I told you, what is annual depreciation? The amount of depreciation provided for the period of 1 year is called as annual depreciation. That is cost value into rate by 100. This first year calculation is same, whether you are following fixed installment method or diminishing balance method. This annual depreciation calculation for the first year will get same answer in both the methods. From second year onwards, the effect of change of method will come into existence. So under fixed installment method it remains same for all the number of years, but in case of diminishing balance method you can see here. So this is the first year depreciation, this is the second year depreciation, this is third year depreciation, this is fourth year depreciation. Year by year the amount of depreciation is decreasing because the asset value is decreasing. Clear? Now, as you know that every method has got advantages as well as disadvantages. So what are the advantages of diminishing balance method and what are the disadvantages we will discuss in this class. First let us discuss about advantages. The first advantage of diminishing balance method is it has uniform effect on the profit and loss account. What do you mean by uniform effect on the profit and loss account? Means we take the depreciation as well as repairs cost both on the debit side of profit and loss account. As you know that in the initial stage of the asset, depreciation amount will be more, whereas repairs cost will be less because the asset is new. You need not spend much amount on repairs and modifications or some renewals. Only in case of old asset you will be spending more amount in case of repairs and maintenance. So here initially depreciation amount will be more, repairs cost will be less. At the slack years, here depreciation will be less, repairs cost will be more. So both will get balanced. This is not possible in under straight line method or fixed installment method, because in fixed installment method we take the uniform depreciation. So in the slack years we will have more repairs and maintenance cost. So the amount which we debit to the P&L account will not be same. But in case of diminishing balance method, as we are taking in the initial stages more amount of depreciation according to the highest value of the asset, in the slack years as the asset value got decreased, we are taking lesser depreciation, but we can write more amount of repairs and maintenance cost, whatever actually we have incurred. So both coming together, depreciation plus repairs cost will make the debit amount balance on the profit and loss account. So that is the reason we see that there will be uniform effect on the profit and loss account. Then second, logical method. What do you mean by logical method? It has got some scientific acceptance. You can convince someone how you are providing the depreciation. Okay, because we are calculating depreciation as per the asset value. Okay, so we can say that when the asset value is more, depreciation is more. Asset value less, depreciation is less. So like that there is some logic in calculation. Blindly we are not providing the depreciation all through the lifetime of the asset in a uniform manner. We are calculating according to the value of the asset, written down value of the asset. So there is some logic behind such calculation. So the people who are considering it, the tax authorities or the investors who wish to know the real value of the asset, they are convinced by our method because there is some logic behind that. Next, risk of obsolescence. What do you mean by obsolescence? Okay, few classes before we have understood about the causes of depreciation. In that I have explained about obsolescence. Means the entry of a new machinery or a new model, new invention disables the place, scope for the existing machinery or technology. That means the entry of a new machinery decreases the value of the existing machinery, old machinery we can say. So here actually the machinery is good, but because the new machinery, new technology has entered into the market, the old one is losing its value. So such risk is considered and we can adjust while preparing the ledger of asset account. Then after how many number of years the machine can be replaced, such all factors we can consider. So that's how risk of obsolescence can be measured in case of diminishing balance method, which is not possible in case of fixed installment method. Next, suitability. This diminishing balance method is suitable for the firms which have got a large amount of machinery, okay, and who can wish to show the balance sheet at their actual worth. So various firms can adopt this method. So they will have suitable accounting method in order to present the balance sheet in a transparent manner. That's how diminishing balance method suits all business organizations. So these were the advantages. Now let us discuss about the disadvantages. As you know that every method will have some advantages and disadvantages. The foremost advantage is it is not suitable for all assets. Diminishing balance method suits only the assets which have got larger value, like 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs. Such type of assets can be depreciated using diminishing balance method, but assets of smaller values like 50,000, 30,000, 20,000 assets, you cannot apply this diminishing balance method, may not give you the reliable and accurate information. Then loss of interest, as we discussed in the previous class, unless until the depreciation amount is invested somewhere in funds or say in banks, it is not deposited, we don't get any reward on that. In this method also, as we did in case of fixed installment method, in case of diminishing balance method also, the amount of depreciation written off on the debit side of P&L account is just used as any other expenditure, but the amount is not invested anywhere, so we don't get the returns like interest or any benefit we don't receive. Next, higher rate. So in order to cover the cost of the asset under diminishing balance method, the rate of depreciation must be high when compared to fixed installment method. Like under straight line method, if you provide 10%, under diminishing balance method you need to provide it 15%. So you require higher rate of depreciation in order to cover the cost of the asset. Next, book value never becomes zero, as the asset value after using certain number of years, maybe 10 years, 15 years, 5 years, at the end of the year, as the machine becomes obsolete, the book value must become 0. So, as per straight line method, it can be brought down to 0, but using diminishing balance method, it is not possible to make it 0. Next, difficulty in calculation. Already you might have experienced this one. This is the major problem under diminishing balance method. Too many calculations. Okay, every year you have to calculate. Sometimes you get depreciation in decimals also. If you have got 2 to 3 different assets, okay, as you need to calculate every year, you get the amount in fractions or decimals, that may complicate your ledger. Already you might have seen in problems solving under diminishing balance method. So, calculation part is very difficult under diminishing balance method. You see, under straight line method, once you calculate the annual depreciation, you can post in all the years same amount of depreciation. But here it is not possible. So, that is the fifth disadvantage of diminishing balance method. Clear?